Okay. Technology is great. I warned you all I'd be going live 15 minutes ago, so hopefully this is all good. Maybe I'll make a habit out of doing more of these. Yeah, I'm definitely live. I can see people starting to join. Mopar Man, hello. Dad, you came back. What's up, Blackbird? Hey, James Shaw. How is everybody doing? Good eye, mate. Say good eye, mate, as fast as you can, or as just kind of casually as you can, and you'll sound Australian. Is the milk spoiled? No. No. Callum Gathard, what's up? Camera is still fuzzy. What do you mean? That's because it's struggling to focus. It doesn't think I'm real. I look at the chat and see almost no one here. Hachiroku Tofu Drifter. Good eye, mate. Disability awareness. Yo. ASAP Chubbs. What's up? How is everybody doing? Yeah, I'm not drinking anything that interesting. Hello from Egypt, Boss Gaming. I've only been to Egypt once. That was like a long time ago, nearly 10 years ago. Speed Cafe Garage. How are you doing? Loving the live streams. James Shaw. Will you still be building a BMW M3 GTR? Absolutely. I just don't have enough money to really get that all started. Because I'm also working on the WRX and trying to afford my own costs of living and stuff. The usernames are great. Hello from Serbia. Man, you guys are just diverse. It's hilarious. The only thing that isn't diverse about you guys is that maybe only 2% of you are women or identify as women. Because whenever you can't look at the analytics. Maybe I should take a screenshot sometime. And the fat man, you said that yesterday. Whenever you look at my analytics, it goes 99.9% men. And then there's the age ranges and stuff like that. Do I like Initial D? I haven't properly tried watching it. The last time I watched an anime was a long time ago. A long time ago. Hello from Sweden. Nice, nice. This stream will be, well, at least an hour, probably. Because right now we're waiting for my editing software to finish rendering and exporting today's episode of Need for Speed Carbon, and that will come out as soon as possible. So we're just chilling and relaxing while we wait for the next episode of Carbon to drop. But if you're willing to stick around, I will end the stream briefly to go and upload the episode of Carbon. But if you're willing to stick around, I'm going to do another stream where I will talk about a couple interesting future plans that will be exclusive to this stream and won't be accessible anywhere else and won't be accessible after the stream ends. Because after the stream ends, usually it's archived as a YouTube video, but I will be setting the archive to private so that no one can see it. Because I just wanted to bounce some ideas off you guys and give you a good idea of what I've got planned. Obviously, you could leak everything I say, but I don't see that being too likely. M3 GTR, BMW 320i or 330ci E46, engine swap it with a V8, make sure it's manual trans, get the kit 3D printed or made via fiberglass, and get a Brown GT wing. You can do, yeah, that's the basic recipe. That's the affordable recipe right there. That's the cheap, simple recipe. I'm not, I should also say I'm not replicating the car from Need for Speed. I'm just replicating the M3 GTR because I've liked that car ever since I was a kid, because of Need for Speed, because of watching the American Le Mans series and all sorts of other interesting things. So it won't be having the Need for Speed livery on it, but it will still be a proper GTR. But it will be a little bit more expensive because of the quality of parts and where I'm getting the parts from. The base car will be an actual M3 E46. The engine will be out of an E92 M3. It will have forced induction twin turbo kit, similar to something from Gintani. The body kit will either be an official PTG kit from the guys at PTG, or I could use a carbon fiber version of the 2M AutoWorks kit, which is basically the M3 GTR V2. The Speedy Boy, you got to sleep. Okay, well, good night or good morning. I don't know if you have my sleeping patterns. It could be good morning. But yeah, that's kind of the plan for the M3 GTR. And there's also, if you haven't heard of Hollinger, they're a racing gearbox transmission making company. And they make really good sequential gearboxes, and I'd want to use one of those in the car as well. So it would be E92 M3 V8 twin turbo, RB32 engine in a BMW. I think that'd be really cool. Someone was originally going to do that with a BMW, but then gave their RB30 block to the guys at That Racing Channel, I believe, TRC. How is their R32 build going? I struggle to keep up with the build because they upload so many other videos that I just kind of go, where do I find the R32 build? E46 M3s here in Australia are expensive, at least $30K for an auto. Wow, that is expensive. Yeah, because you could get an E46 M3 SMG or even a 6-speed manual for under $10,000 in the US. High mileage, but because of what I'm going to do with it, who cares? Thoughts on Ghost Games no longer making NFS games? Well, Ghost is dissolved and has been redistributed across EA, hasn't it? For us, we have the V8 Supercars sequential gearbox, which has the same shortcut gear sounds here in NFS. What company makes the gearboxes for the V8 Supercars down in Australia? Is it Hollinger or is it something like X-Track? Or even OS Geiken or something like that? Or is OS Geiken mostly JDM? That I wouldn't know. There's another company, but I can't remember what it's called. Red 025 Shepherd, how are we doing? I do have an upcoming Fast and Furious vid in the works. I'm going to be working with Sean, particularly controversial person, but I'm going to be working with Sean Morris because he worked on the S15 Mona Lisa Silvia and the RB26 Mustang. I think we'll start with the RB26 Mustang from Tokyo Drift just because he has all the information we could ever need from that, and it's all factual and accurate, and we could get some cool stories. E46 M3 in the UK are going up in price. Really? I wonder why. Maybe it's because they're starting to be recognized as classics or something. I hope they don't go up in price here. Otherwise, I'm going to be doomed. I'm going to be doomed. Because I want to get the car. I want to, at the very least, get the car. And I'm saving for that. I'd like to do it before my 22nd birthday. And I'm 21 right now, so the clock's ticking. But arbitrary deadlines. I want to bankrupt myself. TSR Cryptic, Mike Lang, Zach 2R10. What's up, guys? The alcohol is downstairs. We don't have much because my fiance is expecting because we're not allowed to drink and I don't drink that much anyways. I took a look at your live. Oh, the Need for Speed Most Wanted 1 Hour Pursuit. Yeah, that was just kind of a casual thing. I haven't returned to the community challenge series because I'm still stuck on the latest challenge, which is like get a certain amount of bounty in like a ridiculous amount of time, and it's frustrating and the game usually crashes. So who knows whether I'll return to that. Cooper, what is up? Zach, I feel you. Right now, I'm just drinking milk because I'm a psychopath. Le Samurai, how are we doing? Oh, excuse me. Would I ever do a Let's Play on Need for Speed Rivals? Now, that could be interesting. Because that game looks pretty hectic in terms of the online gameplay. Do people still... How is the online gameplay these days in Need for Speed Rivals? Because I never played it. Will I ever play Need for Speed Pro Street? Yeah, I'm going to be starting that pretty soon. Just got to make sure the game works and all that. Because I finished Carbon, and a new episode of Carbon is coming out today. Hopefully, it will be up in like about an hour. You play Need for Speed Remastered, and the graphics, new races. Most Wanted 2005 Remastered? Give it 10 out of 10. You love Rivals, but my disc broke. I haven't had to play a game that required a disc in a long time. The online gameplay is good on Rivals, and you do get into a lobby with more than 4 usually. Okay. Most Wanted Remastered. Is that like a mod pack or something? TDO7. Hello there. General Kenobi. General Kenobi. GTR7, how's it going? How are the sound mods coming along? I saw that you posted one for the M3 GTR. And the last time I saw it, you were working out some kinks. You're a bold one. You are a bold one. Pro Street never was my taste. It wasn't my number one favorite either. I never finished it, but I thought since I was going to do a Let's Play, I could take that as an opportunity and excuse to finally finish it for the first time without using cheats or something. Playing as a cop is way more fun than being a racer in my mind. That's kind of how I feel about Hot Pursuit 2. Any of you that are old enough or dedicated enough to have played Hot Pursuit 2, being a cop in Hot Pursuit 2 is way more fun. Really frustrating if you've seen my live streams, but still fun. Would you consider doing a collaboration with Craig Lieberman? Most of my informational videos are collaborations with Craig Lieberman. Pretty much every Fast and the Furious video is a result of a phone call between me and Craig. We still chat from time to time casually, but a lot of the time we're talking about videos and things. BMW M3 GTR versus Audi R8. That would be fun. One of my friends in middle school / kind of high school, 9th grade, if you call that high school. It's the precipice of high school. His dream car was the Audi R8, and he knew mine was the M3 GTR. And the original plan was to get our dream cars and cruise them together, but he's in Korea and is difficult to contact. So I have made the M3 GTR sound, but G-Zilla was faster, and he did the Underground 2 sound sooner. Really? Someone else did a mod as well. Was it Domestic Mango? He did a mod that basically put you into what he called Most Wanted mode, where it set you to heat level 6, and you wouldn't take damage during the pursuit, but the cops were more aggressive and crazy. I wish he would release that mod. I would play the heck out of that. I don't know about you guys. The pursuits in Heat are great, but I hate that you can't ram into them without consequences. Hot Pursuit 2 on the PS2. The non-black box version. I've never really played the black box version. NFS Undercover. I had that on Wii for a little while, and I played it, and then I stopped. I don't know why. It's not that I didn't like it, I just stopped. I just had other options, I guess. Hot Pursuit 2 was the best. Love playing as a cop. Craig is a top bloke. Loved his stories. Hope my cars would get featured in movies, because boy, do I have some projects. What are some of the projects? Used to be Most Wanted, Redux mod. Oh. Yeah. That's one of the main reasons why I try to stick to games that are on PC, is because if neat mods ever come out, I can usually take advantage of that if I want to. I like having the option. I don't always mod my games, but I like having the option being able to be able to. 1,000 horsepower GTR versus Dodge Challenger Demon. I have a rather unpopular opinion about the R35. The R35, performance-wise, is remarkable. It looks all right, and in my opinion, it sounds terrible. Unless unless if you take the exhaust and don't have it combined somewhere down the line, and instead just have them both exit out the sides, like the front fenders, for instance, the front side fenders. That would sound so much better, and it wouldn't sound quite so much like a brass band being shot or something, or choked, or electrocuted. Wentworth, I'm not sure how to help you there. I'm not in a position to help. If there was a service that you could call. I've fallen and I can't get up. I've pooped and there isn't any toilet paper. I think Need for Speed Heat damage bar should go in the next Need for Speed game. I do think it's cool that they have the damage bar. It's not that I don't want it removed. I just think that there should be instances where you don't have to worry about it, so that you can enjoy yourself a little more, like so that people have the option, because it's open world and you want to kind of have that sandbox, invulnerable, almost most wanted-esque feel. My only R35 video are V8 ones. Yeah, the VR38 is an engine that you have to respect in terms of ability and aftermarket potential. It's one of the best engines out there. But it sounds horrible. When you listen to their GT3 cars, which have exhaust similar to the kind I would describe, they sound so much better. They're rear-wheel drive, which I didn't realize until recently, but they sound so much better. The street cars just sound horrible. It's snowy and cold here. Yeah, it snowed here too. There's a load of BS. Would you want to collab on a street race video with my Viper versus any car you want? I will film anyone that's willing to be filmed. Although, in any kind of written agreement, it will be a little more specific than that, so that it doesn't sound weird. But I will film any cars that people want. I will film any people's cars that they want to be filmed. Where are you located, though, Mopar Man? Mopar Man? Mopar? Popar? Yo, dude, you own a 4-door R34 with an RB26. I bet it's expensive. I wouldn't expect it to be cheap. That sounds cool. I bet you're proud of that. I also saw there was a question I wanted to answer that I might have missed. Yo, by the way, you have further plans on the WRX? I do. I do have plans for the WRX. I can quickly overlay them. So currently the car is essentially stage 2. The same parameters as Cobb stage 2, but it's a Pro Tune because of the exhaust, which is a Grimspeed catted J-pipe with a Tomei titanium catback. It's got a Greddy Type S blow-off valve, hence the Brian O'Connor Eclipse sound. And it's got a Cobb intake as well, with a Cobb access port, obviously. Fairly tame. It makes STI power. It doesn't have the STI drivetrain, though, so it's not... I don't think it would beat a standard STI in a race. I'm not going to try and make a claim like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. In terms of plans, I really want to do aesthetic stuff. And I'm between two different wings right now, both full carbon. There's a body kit that I'm saving up for. Wheels are kind of the last thing I would do. I definitely want to wrap it. Totals out to about $9,000 worth of remaining stuff, though. Remaining mods. Which is why I also haven't gotten an M3 yet. Because the M3 will likely cost me $9,000 to $10,000. And I'm an ordinary person with YouTube as my income at however many subscribers I have right now. I can't remember. Am I at 27,000 or am I past that? My short-term memory is failing me. Yeah, 27.4. I may have missed some things. But yeah, mostly just aesthetic stuff because I want to keep it as a daily and have everything else be crazy things that aren't reliable, even though the WRX is broken multiple times. Rear-wheel drive or regular stuff, even Japanese Super GT are all rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I figured. You're in Portland, Oregon. Hello there. Poker Face X. Hello. Speed Cafe Garage listing out his projects. BMW E30 with a full M3 Evo kit. V12 rebuilt. Merc 190 Evo V12. TA S2000 wide body. Roush Mustang GT with a Galpin rocket kit. Supra Veilside RX-7. Wow. Those are some neat projects. That's a lot of diversity, too. How many of them are near completion? Like, are most... Those are some neat projects. That's a lot of diversity, too. How many of them are near completion? Like, are most of the R34 Skyline? Does the United States have anything similar? Honestly, I don't think so. Not like actual replica cars. We've got people in here that bring in the chassis and call them kit cars or something, but actual replicas, I don't know. It would be cool, though, if someone made, like, a carbon fiber tube frame version of the R34 chassis, but it wasn't the R34 chassis, and then you made that into a kit car. You couldn't necessarily call it a Nissan Skyline, but that would be a neat workaround, because I don't think there's such thing as a tube frame version chassis out there. They'll be outrageously expensive, but it'd be cool. And I don't think that would be road legal. The Panos GTR 1. What is that? I'm starting to fall behind. Oh, wow. That looks like a full-on prototype or Le Mans race car. That looks like the sort of thing that would be racing the CLK GTR or the CLR. V8 and a BMW M3 E36. That'd be neat. Especially since the US versions of the E36 M3 weren't the best. Varus kit? Maybe. I kind of want it to look factory-ish despite being modified. Yes, I'm in London, so things are quite different here. I know the feeling. I used to live there. I lived there for 3 years. Do I have Xbox or PS4? I have neither. I don't have any consoles here. Original beta NFS Carbon after Darius gave you cross deals, get your cars, but Nikki gave you BMW M3 back, but Dev tell about what? Did you know if you take a muffler off any car, it'll sound different? The more you know. What is that a reference to? Which car do you prefer most? Which car do you prefer? Most want a BMW M3 GTR or Too Fast, Too Furious R34 GTR? I don't know which one I prefer, but I know which project I'd want to start first. I'd want to start the BMW project before I started the GTR project. Would you buy a Polestar 1 and make it like the NFS 1? I don't know if I'd make it like the NFS 1, but the Polestar 1 is cool. I don't even know how much they are. I imagine it's really expensive. Well, I've started on the Merc 190, the E30 I just bought. I'm saving up for the S2000, and the Mustang is in the works with my dad. Very cool. Very cool. If his first movie, the Ford Mustang, was inspired, the BMW M3, was it? OMG, the Panos memories, Gran Turismo, and Forza Motorsport. I have played neither of those. Neither of those. You're making me feel uncultured. Even though I've done so much stuff with cars in my entire life, there's always something I haven't done. There's always something that hasn't been done yet, or at least something that you haven't done. Yeah, there's always like a sport version of something ordinary. Panaz was never in NFS. I don't know if that many prototype Le Mans cars were ever in NFS. I wouldn't complain about them being in them. Thoughts on John Cena being in Fast 9? It makes so little sense to me that it's hard to form thoughts on it. It's difficult to comprehend why it makes sense in the story. Because you can tell they haven't planned this far ahead story-wise. They're just trying to raise the stakes more and more and more and add on more things and twists. But then they also put all the twists in the trailer. So it's like, what? Why? We need a reason to watch the movie. We need something that we don't know. We need something that's new, but new in a good way, not new in now they're trying to take over the world using onion rings and stuff. We've replaced all steering wheels with onion rings. No one will be able to turn ever again. Thoughts? Yeah. Are you into motorcycles too? I think motorcycles look cool. I've never ridden one. Wouldn't know where to start. And I'd most likely just kill myself. If you've seen how I drive. Aaron's World VT. What's up? The M3 GTR interior doesn't look like the race car. In which game? Or in which instance? I do play Forza Horizon 4 rarely now. Take a look Ford Mustang GT and BMW M3 GTR in the NFS movie. What's up? Tim RS7, hello. I also own a 2003 R1. That sounds like a bike. Oh, you're talking to someone else. You're not necessarily talking to me. Well, the R34 Scion replicas are for drift, and as far as I know, they are legal. That's interesting. Hold on. I'm just going to Google this. You can't see my screen because I'm just using the webcam, but Brazil R34 replica. Do you know what chassis they're built on top of? These look like GTRs. That's really neat. Oh, I fell behind. I said hello to you, Aaron's World. I said, what's up? TD07, I'm convinced Fast and Furious and Star Wars are in the same universe. The most ambitious crossover ever. That, and we just need the characters from Frozen. And it'll be completely insane. I feel like that's the only direction they can go now. F10 will have Dom return with his 70 Charger, complete with its bug catcher, but it's actually a real, which Dom never misses his shot, as he always says. His family. Family is the Fast and Furious equivalent to Star Wars characters constantly talking about hope. And you just start rooting for the bad guys because you go, shut up. We get that you care about family. You're making us care less by talking about it. You're beating a dead horse. But the horse would probably come back to life anyways if it was blown up, because that's how Fast and Furious works. Aki Kimura, don't you think you're doing these streams a bit too close to each other? I don't know. I've never done them before. I don't know how to schedule them or what people would prefer. I considered maybe switching to once a week. Please stop spamming. Yeah, no spamming, please, because it also makes it harder for me to read. Because I'm responding to everybody anyways. Oh, what? The Charles Dickens just happened. I've been blessed with cheap Jap tuners here in Australia. Most of my mates have Jap cars. S14, S15, S14, S15, R32, R33, and R34 GTR, Impreza WRX STI, Evo 2 all the way to 10. Yeah. One car I've considered getting before doing the M3 E46 or the R34 build is getting an R32. But if I was to do that, if I was to do an R32 build, that would probably mean trading in the WRX for the R32. So that would be my only issue. I love the R32, but I also really like my WRX. I really like driving it. And plus, it has back seats, and you can put a child seat in the back seat, which is a little relevant now. Yes, Dion, you are still the Crumpet King. You're from the Netherlands. That was literally the last country I lived in before I came to the US. That was where I graduated from high school. That's a sentence. For some odd reason, your voice on live streams sounds different from normal videos. I don't know why. It's probably when I watched back the stream, I noticed that I was quite loud, despite being only kind of close to the microphone, because the microphone is right there. So I don't know why it's so sensitive, because it's not showing up as sensitive on the screen. I don't know if it's doing like compression or something on the audio, like how I do in post-production. What happened last movie? Fast and Furious, BMW M3 GTR, and Audi R8 are the show of the movie. What? But I wish we had American muscles here. Challengers, Camaros, and Corvettes are very expensive here. $60,000 for $60,000 for a stock C5 Corvette is just insane. Oh my goodness. I guess you win some, you lose some, because you've got a lot of cars that a lot of other countries want. Is there going to be a video about the Mustang or Silvia with the crazy RB26 with the crazy rev loader spanking banging turbo sounds? Yes, Osery Omer. I'm making you sound French. I'm sorry. Omer. Is there going to be a video about that? Yes. The next episode of Car Top is Explained will be about the Tokyo Drift RB26 Mustang in detail. Andy UK, what is up? Do I watch I don't. Oh, hell. It just jumped. Why does it do this? Do you watch Formula 1, 2, or 3? I've been to Formula 1 races. I went to the last Formula 1 race where they used the V8s before they replaced them with the V6s. That was the one I went to. It was in Singapore. Well, it was one of the last races. It was the last season. It was the Singtel race where I watched. It was interesting. I didn't stay for the whole thing, but oh my God, those cars are loud. They're fast. And there was also like a couple other races happening before it that wasn't Formula 1. And there was also like a race where it was just a bunch of guys in Porsche GT cars. I can't quite remember. It was in like 2013 or 2014. Favorite Fast and Furious was Tokyo Drift because it had the most racing. It was the most about racing. And so that pleased car people the most, but it made the least money. We have some R34 in the Netherlands. Yes, I'll say acquaintances with BNRK, owner of Skyline Garage, as far as I know. He has the cleanest Bayside Blue Mines style R34 GTR in the world. It's gorgeous. And it has a discontinued super rare Trust titanium exhaust as well. So definitely look him up on Instagram, BNRK. One of the nicest Skylines ever. Even if you haven't heard of him, you've seen his car. Bet you can't catch me on my four-cylinder shit stang. I'm going to be honest. My car probably can't catch most things. It's got just over 300 horsepower. Coronavirus. At least it's not digitally contagious. Have you heard about Car X Street? No, what's that? You know, was Never Supposed to canceled, never came in 2011. Yeah, I've played the demo. I've played the old, really unstable build, like alpha, pre-alpha version of Most Wanted 2. It was weird. It ran like crap. How old am I? I'm 21. Search some R34 in the Netherlands. I know people that have R34s in the Netherlands. You can get the new C8 for $70,000. You can buy an R34 GTR for that much. or less sometimes. But which would you pick? Would you take the C8 or the R34? Which would you take? Here's a change of topic. What's your opinions on the C8 Corvette? I did an episode of The Garage where I talked about that, and I'm a fan. The Stingray isn't that interesting to me, but I'm very interested in what the Z06 and the ZR1 are going to be like. I'm interested in the powertrain. I'm interested in how they're going to improve the appearance. And the C8R is very cool. What's $400,000? I just came on. What is everyone talking about? Jim Apple, I am now talking about the C8 currently. We're just talking about cars. I'm answering people's questions and just kind of having a discussion. 100%. I want to get one. Right-hand drive will be about $150K here when it arrives. Really? Everyone? Pennzoil GTR or Calsonic GTR? Ooh, well, it depends on which Pennzoil GTR. If we're talking about Calsonic, I assume you're talking about the notorious R32. Pennzoil, that I always think of the R34. In terms of history, if I could get my hands on the Calsonic GTR, I'd probably go with the R32. I don't get why Cross drives a C6R in cutscenes and then in-game drives a C6. That was... So in the cutscenes, that was the original intent. You can see the original intent evidenced in the cutscenes, but then they go with a modified C6 instead. It looks very similar to the C6R, but it's different. Hashiria Drifter. Have you ever tried the game The Crew? I wanted to. When it came out, I couldn't afford it, and I got hooked on other things. I was addicted to Need for Speed World at the time, so I didn't need any other racing games to waste my life in, to be honest. Also, I'm not very delicate, but probably need to lose weight. I've gained a little weight. I don't know why we're talking about that. Importing JDM cars and getting them smog compliant is cheaper than buying a USDM, depending if the engine was made here. Where's here? The player Need for Speed Most Wanted is 35 years old. I can tell you, because the writer of the Need for Speed series, Most Wanted, Carbon, and stuff like that, he wanted to do a continuation that actually returned to Rockport. And according to this book that he wrote, the character's name, the player's name is like Thomas Sadowski or something. It sounds like the character out of Monsters, Inc. Thomas Sadowskis. If they're making C7Rs and C8Rs, what? Come to IM Amsterdam, biggest car show. I want to go back to Amsterdam, the Netherlands, just in general. It's one of the favorite places I ever lived in. What happened to Need for Speed Most Wanted? Was ROG Blacklist? ROG was originally Blacklist 16. What you talking about, Willis? Man, Heather says that all the time. Supra MX-5. What? Super Mark 5 or MX-5? What are you talking about, guys? The only Mark IV Supra that was imported into my country was up for sale for $230,000 US. JDM cars are super rare here. Wow. Lamborghini Gallardo 470. 0.5. What? Lamborghini Gallardo. Oh, heck. Oh, you were probably trying to say 570-4, weren't you? I'm taking things literally. I like the Gallardo. I'm stuck between the Gallardo and the Ferrari 360 being supercars I'd actually be considering buying. But I don't know. There's so many other cars I'd rather get that are much cheaper. Well, always think about player was player from Need for Speed Pro Street. Name Ryan was better. Yeah, the name Ryan Cooper is definitely catchier. June R33 GTR or mine's R34 GTR? That's a fantastic question. June R33 GTR. I want to look at these and just see if that helps me come up with a choice. Why wasn't yellow a factory color for the R33? I feel like it just suits it really well because they have the 400R, the Nismo 400R on display at the Nissan factory, but in that one's in yellow, even though no factory car was yellow. I think I'd go with the mine's R34, but it's a bit close. Have I played Tokyo Extreme Racer? No. I have not. The MX-5 is a Mazda. Yeah. Well, you said Super MX-5. That's why I was confused. Cars are cool. Yes. Cars are MMS. What? I drive a 2003 Ford Taurus that has 129,000 miles. It's worth 25 cents, but it does have a lot of kick when you hit the gas. I like that phrase. It's worth 25 cents. Ford Taurus. That's got to be indestructible. Well, Darius, now have 41 years old, and Razor is 37 years old. You mean the actors? Do you think Pro Street 240SX is sexy in its own broken way? I like the way Ryan Cooper's 240SX looks. I didn't realize it was quite as iconic as it is. But that's probably because I didn't play Pro Street that much. Ford GT is pretty op in Need for Speed Heat. That's what I heard. If you work at Criterion, what would you do for Need for Speed? I would want to be in charge of sound. The sound department. I would go nuts and try to get the highest quality and best sounding sounds for every car so that the game is distinct and high quality. Because the sounds in Heat are okay. The R32 was unexpectedly cool. But it could be better. And it's not hard to be better. You just have to be willing to source the owners of cars that you know sound good. Your dream JDM car, no limitations, go all out. Okay, well, a lot of people already know this. I would take the Nissan Skyline GTR R34, but it would be a 2002. It would be an M-Spec NER, so one of 285 in existence. I would use either a NER engine block or a triple R engine block out of something like a Z-Tune. HKS Step 3 stroker kit, 2.8 liter, T78 single turbo kit, CUS body kit, Midnight Purple or Lamborghini Viola Parsofe. Those silly Veilside Andrew F. racing wheels that were on Dom's RX-7 in the first Fast and Furious film. Probably a full straight pipe titanium exhaust just for giggles. That'd be it. Actually, oh, what am I missing? I really wanted to see you do, I assume you mean Gran Turismo 4 tests and do both driving tests and driving missions. See how you would do the Mission 34. I mean, if people ask for it, I can play that game. I mean, eventually I'm going to run out of Need for Speed games to play, and it's either I'm going to just keep repeating games or I have to find something new. What game do I play? I play just about everything. Actually, if anyone is interested, if you had your own blacklist, which 15 people would you choose? Well, it depends on who I get to choose from. Are we talking about real people? Because if the blacklist was to be organized the same way it is in the game, where you can only rank up by doing basically illegal things and setting like records, like for instance, surviving a police chase for a certain amount of time, or doing this, or going through a speed trap at this speed, and people have to beat those before they can even race you. It really kind of depends. I feel like the guys from Daily Driven Exotics would be pretty high up on the list. Actually, if anyone is interested, I've tracked down all the players' cars in whole seconds. Ooh. Second 6, dangerous games, Underground 1, S13, Underground 2, R34, beginning. What? If anyone's interested, I've tracked down all players' cars in whole Second 6, Need for Speed games. Underground 1, S13, Underground 2, R34, possibly Mitsubishi GTO, middle, R34, ending, MW, Audi A4. Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. I get it, Aki Kimura. I get it. Also, do you think Need for Speed Heat has too many Aventadors and Porsche 911s? They definitely have too many Porsches. But Porsche have always had a close relationship with the Need for Speed brand. You only want the sound M3 GTR, let's be honest. Well, we all like the sound of the M3 GTR. Pan Speed RE Amamiya or Feed RX-7 FD? I don't remember what some of these look like. Ooh, the Amamiya looks really good. That's probably how I would build an RX-7 if I had one. I really like, even though I know that pop-up headlights are iconic and don't occur in modern cars anymore, I'd still probably take them off the RX-7 and go with that flat light instead. Adam LZ posted his BMW video. You should watch the intro. Oh God, why? He doesn't mention me, does he? I can't imagine he's even seen my video. Razor, first I take your ride and take your girl. Get ready for that. So, which is such a weird thing to say. A strange thing, the top secret Supra has an RB26 swap. You mean the really sketchy car that Trap Team has? That they're saying is older than it actually is? They've got the model year wrong. My dad has a 2005 Crown Vic. That's an economical car. Every time he drives on the freeway, other drivers slow down. They think it's a police car. Man, I do that at night when I see the headlights of Ford Explorers, Dodge Chargers, and whatever the other one is, the big Chevy Tahoe, on all that stuff. Not so much Ford Crown Vics anymore, because I don't really see them getting used as police cars anymore. Strange. Would you ever play Import Tuner Challenge? I don't know anything about it, so maybe. Do you like Need for Speed Underground 2 better, or the older version 1? Or do you mean Need for Speed 2? Like actual Need for Speed 2, not Underground 2. I haven't played Need for Speed 2. Hey, Bruno Fox TV. Yeah, we're all good. Am I a ricer? Probably. Yes, real people for the blacklist. I would definitely get everyone from Daily Driven Exotics on that list, given all the stuff they do. I would be nowhere near the top of the list because of them, but definitely the guys from Daily Driven Exotics. 15 people is a lot of people. I think Damon Fryer would be at the top. How was the Chinese? Chinese was good. We don't even have any leftovers. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 was hate from community. Yeah, a lot of people didn't receive that game very well. Didn't Criterion make the later games though? Some of the later games before Ghost became a thing. Also, M3 GTR, beginning, ending, Carbon, Aston Martin, DB9, Pro Street, anything, S13 beginning, Undercover, S13, and Evo 10. Adam LZ Skyline. But what is he like? Does he acknowledge what's going on, or does he just continue with life? We agree on RX-7, RA Super GT2 body kit with intake light. I own a Charger, and I hate that shit when they slow down in front of you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine that sucks. Because the Charger is cool, but everyone thinks you're a cop. What is the next NFS? Oh, I have no idea. Akio Asakura, hi again. Okay, it's been a little while, so I'm going to quickly head downstairs really quick. Enjoy looking at the elephant. I'm going to start uploading today's episode of Carbon because it's a little late, and I want to get that. But I'll be right back. Write all your questions, and I will answer them. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. If someone comes in and is like, why are we looking at a wall? Just tell them what I'm doing because I don't want to pause this. There's no point because I don't want to lose the chat. I'll be right back. No. False alarm. It still apparently has 10 minutes left. I don't believe that for a second. It said 30 minutes when it started. I One Gun Mignite. I don't know what that is. Have you heard of Bakusu Decatora Densetsu? I can't pronounce this, and basically the answer is no. For PS1, I never had a PS1. Oh boy, triggered. Future people, he left so we can see an elephant. Cool elephant. What do you think is the best video you ever did in your opinion? And also, why do you have or had so many channels? Oh, this could be fun to answer. Best video I ever did. It depends on how we're judging that. I mean, the Too Fast to Furious Skyline sound video is the most successful. The best video. That's a really tough one. Let me look at some of my videos just to see if I can think of an answer. I don't really have an answer. I've never really thought about that. Let me take a quick look. Most popular. Some of the M3 GTR videos were really fun to make. I don't really know how to define best. This is tricky. The locations of the Fast and the Furious was a fun one to make. It didn't get as many views as I expected it to. Either the Too Fast and Furious Skyline sound video or the Why the BMW M3 GTR is Awesome video. And to answer your question about why I've had so many channels is because I've constantly been trying to figure out how to be successful on YouTube. My first channel I ever made was back in 2011, 2012. I was in middle school, and I just uploaded random crap onto that channel, and eventually that channel got got shut down because I got 3 copyright strikes on it. Because I was posting music on it. That was why. I was posting like unreleased music from TV shows and things. My second channel, which is still up, which is called Digitalics, was more of a gaming channel that, again, I made in middle school. It was a little more successful. The most successful video was a tutorial on how to make how to get Need for Speed World to work on a Mac, because that was all that I had, and that video got 50,000 views. That was the highest viewed video I ever got. But it was mostly Minecraft videos, Star Wars, Gary's Mod, a whole lot of games and stuff. And then when I came back to the US, or more specifically when I got the WRX, I decided to make a new channel that would be only about cars. And then I decided I'd just do everything on the new channel, including games. Originally, it was just car games and things like that, but then I played a game about dinosaurs. So, and then eventually I just kind of decommissioned Digitalics. And then the Racing Joker just started to explode and do really, really well. And that's where I am right now. But then, of course, for those of you that don't know, I do have a 4th channel that I've made since making this channel. I made it this year. It's called Guide to the Multiverse. It's basically a pop culture channel that is all about discussing TV shows, movies, comics, and a whole bunch of nerdy stuff. And right now, the only videos that are up there are Star Wars videos. So if you like Star Wars, check out Guide to the Multiverse. If you want a link, I can put it in the description. It needs subscribers. It definitely does. But it's kind of interesting because I'm essentially building another channel from scratch, and it's completely unrelated to this channel. So I don't know how many people can really migrate over to the new channel. But yeah, that's kind of why I've had so many channels. Just a lot of experimenting and trying to figure out how to actually get things to work. I hope that satisfies your curiosity. If you had the money, would you build an RWB? Maybe. I'd pick other things before I picked an RWB, but I do respect the amount of detail and effort that goes into making those cars. For some reason, I think they really fit in the JDM scene in Japan. They just reek of Japan style, if that makes sense, in my opinion. You should do stream on NES games such as Road Fighter or Super Spy Hunter. NES games, that's an interesting one. Stradman and DDE being Need for Speed 2. That'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting. That'd be a good deal for DDE, to be honest. Funny how out of the 27,000 subscribers you have, only around 20 people joined. Yeah. I recognize most of you, though. Like, you guys are some of the more active subscribers. And it's also just time zones. Drift King. Unpopular, controversial opinion, the RX-8 isn't that bad. Fight me. I'm not getting in the middle of that. Decatur, weird-ass trucks. That was my inspiration, but I, myself, not really into drifting. Do you hunt fists? How can we meet up to film a Viper video? I live in Portland, but can meet you anywhere. I have an email for scheduling all that stuff. No one has filled out a form in a long time to have their car be reviewed as well. I used to get a lot of people applying, but they're all like out of state. And so I respond to them and let them know, hey, I want to film your car, but just so you know, I'm here, unfortunately. I'm in Illinois, Missouri, basically. I'll travel just about anywhere to film a Viper because Vipers are cool. They're pretty different in terms of American cars. They're basically supercars. They are supercars, not basically. There's no debate. Do I play Automation? It's a car creator game. Nope. I don't even really play that many games. I usually just play one game at once. Right now, I'm playing a Star Wars game. I just happen to be uploading Need for Speed videos. The only controversial topic is the kidnapping of Adam LZ's Skyline. His Skyline was kidnapped? What? Is that real? Hold on. Is that real? I'm not subscribed to him. Give me 1 second. I see the BMW video that you talked about. My teacher has a Viper, and he's the advisor for a club at my school that does autocross. We associate with the SCCA last time the club was active. Man, I wish some of my teachers were that cool. I feel like they'd be a lot more pleasant to interact with. That's cool. I like Vipers. V10, but they sound really neat. Oh, I made a post, really funny, on the Daily Driven Exotics fan group page. You have to get let in to be a part of it. I joined it a while ago, and I made a post saying, here's an interesting idea. Interesting to me. What do you guys think of this, essentially? Take any Aventador, whether it's a 2012 or a facelift, an SV or an SVJ, it doesn't matter, a Roadster, Coupe. Take an Aventador, get rid of that V12, and put in a Murcielago V12 and twin turbo it, so that you get the Murcielago sound with the godly Aventador drivetrain and pushrod suspension and all that good stuff. And to me, that would be a V12 supercar that I would want. Otherwise, I just want the Huracan. It's kind of my only income, Aki Kumur. Unless if someone says, here, have money. Which I suppose is what Patreon is. What happened? Somebody give you M3 GTR or M4 for free. What car you get? I don't really like the M4. I like the M4, but I don't like the engine it has. I think they should have put the engine that's in the M5 and the M8 and the M6 into the M4 instead. Starting the club, I mean. Unpopular opinion, the LFA doesn't have the best sounding engine. I can see why you might think that. It's for me, it's one of the best. There's also the 5.0 Gallardo V10. It also depends on whether we're looking at street car engines or race car engines. 2 coronavirus confirmed cases in Brazil. Were you planning on getting various kits for your WRX? No, I'm planning on getting a charge speed body kit. Because it looks kind of factory, but a little aftermarket, and the body lines basically stay the same for the most part, but it still looks cool. I have the high ground. You underestimate my power. Do you prefer NA or boosted? It depends on the experience I'm trying to get. I think boosted is really fun, but I also think it depends on the engine. If my car was NA, it would be the most disappointing thing in the world. If I had like a big American V8, I'd probably want to keep it naturally aspirated just to kind of keep the power delivery, reasonable, consistent, not have any lag, and just have it all there all at once. Because I like the idea of building cars to be a certain experience rather than to achieve certain performance figures. I don't want to sacrifice fun for fast. I like fast. I don't want to be slow, but I don't want to sacrifice fun for being fast. What is that thumbnail? That was me not wanting my picture taken, which is ironic considering what I do. Fast and Furious 9 is coming. Yeah. Kind of exciting. Kind of like, okay. There's another one. I still can't believe they brought Han. I can believe they brought Han back. I just wish they hadn't. By the way, what other channels do you watch? Mighty Car Mods is one of my watches. I used to watch them all the time. So, channels I watch. Here we go. There aren't many. But we've got Daily Driven Exotics. We've got That Dude in Blue. That Racing channel, sometimes, mainly for their builds. 1320 Video. Is there anything else? I think for the most part, that's it. I hate you. I put the V in V8. Hi, dude. Kaiser X the Third. What's up? Linchester, if I didn't say hi to you, by the way, hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? John Cena. I don't sacrifice fun either. I drive an Integra. Integras are cool, man. Especially with like an old school Gretty exhaust. I think those actually sound really nice. Why is everyone retracting their messages? DD, they're like Tokyo Drift, never existed. How's the STI swap? I'm not doing an STI swap. The only time I ever mentioned swapping anything STI into my car was like the drivetrain, like differential and things like that, just to improve launch and handling, basically. But I want to keep the powertrain in my car because I think it's more interesting than what's in the STI, because they've got completely different powertrains now. What happened? You are here. How do Americans feel about car dimensions? I think there are limits to comfortable dimensions. What is you and your... Well, it used to be. Everything is big in America. Now it's just kind of our ego that's really big. But big cars and big engines aren't quite so much a thing anymore. I feel like things are a little more economical now. It also depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at trucks and things, those are always going to be freaking huge. Inferno Bunny. In my opinion, Lamborghini Murcielago sounds better than the LFA. Murcielago LFA? What is that? The Murcielago SV is one of the greatest sounding cars in the world. Spoon exhaust on it? Hey, cool. Fast 9 logic is out of whack. Han came back like he's God mode. Oh, man. With a single snap of my fingers, I can make everything irrelevant. All right, I'm gonna head out. Gotta deliver groceries. All right, Lemon Ike, go take care of your responsibilities. Have a good one. Do I like wrestling? Depends on what you mean. My fiance watches WWE. I knew nothing about WWE until I started dating her. So I'm more familiar with that than I ever thought I would be. I have a brother you guys don't know about, and his name is John Cena. Yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, it just feels like revisionist history. Even when we found out that Dom was married to Letty, I was like, what? He never acted like it. He didn't act like it in the first movie. He was flirting with all kinds of other women in the first movie, and now we're supposed to believe that they're married? They don't act like a married couple. John Cena was never mentioned. Exactly. He was never mentioned. Saif El Gayar. I hope I said your name right. Hello. How is it going? Peugeot 406 from Taxi 2. What? Taxi 2, Peugeot 406. Holy moly. Oh my goodness. How have I never heard of this movie, and where can I watch it? I wish you guys could see my screen. That was wacky. Glass WRX transmission. I'm not going to lie, I've had some issues with synchros in my gearbox. I wish I could put an STI trans into my car. But if I was to do that, I would probably replace other things with STI stuff as well. Nothing in the powertrain, just drivetrain. Fast 9 is not Fast and Furious. It's like a 7-year-old playing with Hot Wheels Fantasy with Family Edition. I think kids with Hot Wheels cars have a more realistic imagination than the writers of the Fast franchise. Can you throw me a link? I don't know how that works. You can try posting it in the chat. If not, just direct message me, the Racing Joker on Instagram. I generally respond to you guys, usually, unless if something goes wrong and I don't see your message. Do I have an RX-7? No. I wouldn't complain about having one. I do things to it, though, that a lot of people would consider sacrilege, which sounds weird, but I mean, like engine swapping it for something that's not a rotary. I think the Carrera GT is the best sounding car ever. Carrera GT sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty similar to the LFA in a lot of ways, in the 5.0 Gallardo V10. Could you imagine putting the Carrera GT engine in a Lamborghini and not telling anybody? The sound you'd get, and you just go, oh, it's just because I have a custom exhaust, but it's a secret, NDAs and all that, non-disclosure agreements. But my car sounds better than yours. It sounds way better than yours. Because the Huracan, for instance, it sounds cool, but you just can't really change the way it sounds. You can make it raspy, and you make it loud, but you can't change the note. Would you be interested in doing a video in my club I was talking about? Some business club could help. No need to travel or even consider. I would be happy to do films of just about anything. Anything like that would require some planning. So I would recommend either contacting me through my business email or through Instagram or something like that, just to get the conversation going. Because if you're not in the same location as me, there has to be some coordination. What do you think about the coupe, the hardtop versus soft top? I'm more of a coupe guy, but if I want the roof off, I'm probably only ever going to go Targa, because I don't like ruining the body lines of a car just so that I can mess up my hair. Japanese K car. Japanese K car? Or Kai car? Japanese Kai. Oh, like, the little vehicles. Maybe. They kind of feel like a JDM version of, well, like smart cars or like maybe Lotuses. Oh my God, those are miniature. Guys, I don't think I've fit in one of those. I'm not a small human being. Hello, Mario Gutierrez. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, poor man, you're sending me an email. Cool. I will check it out later today. What's your opinion on? I already read that. Thoughts on 2020 Supra? Great sports car, not really a Supra. I think they should have just called it something else. They could have called it. What do they call it? They called it the GT86. They could have called that something else. Just named it after the horsepower figure or whatever. Calling it a Supra doesn't really seem necessary. Toyota Celica versus WRX. Depends on what you've done with the Celica and what's done to the WRX. Boss Gaming, you need to check out the A91 Supra, new and improved Zupra. Zupra. What? I'm confused. Remember when Need for Speed made a movie? I do remember that. That was a long time ago, too. Makes me feel old. Witness against Harvey Weinstein. He's in the hospital after being run down by a car. I suppose that's kind of relevant because it's a car involved. I don't really know the whole story with all of that stuff. I don't pay attention to current events unless if it's dropped right in front of me. Personally, I wish the Lamborghini Genesis should have been made. That just sounds interesting. Lamborghini Genesis. That looks like something the Jetsons would have. I didn't know. Was that a concept car, I guess? Just wanting to watch, bro. I want to see a reaction. The 350. Okay. The 350Z is a sleeper car, right? It can be if it looks completely stock. You won't suspect it. And even when you give a 350 a ton of power, they tend to just blow the tires off. On Cars, how's it going? I'm glad everyone's able to join. I wonder what a clickbait car YouTube channel would be like and how they would title their videos. Red Sports and Games. Hello, Boss Gaming. Taxi movies are really good. How have I not seen them? There are so many things I just haven't heard of. Isn't that the cap that who wears? Are you trying to be who? TGF? Who's TGF? E89 Gen 4 Z4 or current Gen Z4, which are also the new Supra. I don't like the way the new Z4 looks. I've never been a huge fan of the Z4. They're a neat car. But again, I take issue with a lot of BMW's choices for which cars get which powertrains. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Bugatti Sento Diez. Heck, I've looked at this, but I can't remember what it looks like. I remember thinking it was outrageous as far as I know. Sento Diez. A wild-looking machine, but it mostly just looks like a Chiron to me. Bugatti's design language is definitely one of a kind. Sometimes I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, though. A91. Wait. How have I not heard of this? A91 Supra? What does it even look like? (2021) Toyota Supra A91 edition first look. What makes it specialer? 2020 is better than ever. To its newly available 4-cylinder engine and more powerful straight six. But where is the engine coming from? Where are they coming from? That's what I'm curious about. On the plus side, the Supra A91 edition comes exclusively with the model's 382 horsepower inline six power plant that pairs with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It also benefits from the 6-cylinder Supra's WeWorks. Okay, so a lot of things. This article is literally saying the most noticeable difference between the A91 Supra and its lesser kin is the limited edition spoiler. And then it talks about stripes. It talks about how it's blue. When those are the highlights, I have concerns. Not gonna lie. Where am I going? Improve B58. Okay, so it's still the B58. It's a good engine. I was just curious. Do you watch Need for Speed YouTubers? I watch Black Panther. It's the only Need for Speed YouTuber I watch. Kurt Ramdeem, you have to go. See you around. The new Supra will be out later this year. It said 2021, although it's usually a year ahead with model years. How long have I been doing this? Hardtops are usually not that bad in terms of body lines. And some unpopular, I like to have a Skyline. I'd go for G37 or Q60 convertible. Hey, More power to you. Those would be a lot cheaper than the R chassis. Can I do a car topic on Hector's car? Well, it depends on what you mean by Hector's car, because a lot of the times when they refer to Hector's car in the film, that's not what was considered Hector's car. Because the footage of Hector's car was lost, so they used that kind of bronzish, maroonish colored one or whatever it was. You need to watch the French Taxi movies. Rice Taxi, that is fast. It's limited blue. It's still to be 58. Yeah. You look like Jay Swingler. Oh, crap. I forgot. Someone said I looked like Ashton Kutcher, but then there was another. I've forgotten. I remembered. I should have written it down. That someone said I looked like someone else as well. Many current Supra owners feel like they got screwed. Well, they probably didn't know what they were getting into. To be perfectly honest, they probably thought they were getting something else. Do you watch any TV car channels? And if so, which one? I don't watch a ton of TV unless if Heather makes me. It's mostly just YouTube. The 4-banger Supra is like the EcoBoost Mustang. A cheaper one, or a more expensive one, not a cheaper one. Vocabulary. What games do you remember playing at arcade places? Daytona USA. Oh, there was another one. Let me look it up. Arcade. It had like the McLaren F1 in it and the Ferrari F40. Racer, McLaren F1. Was it Scud? Scud Race. I think that was it. It had the Ferrari F40, McLaren F1, and all sorts of crazy cars. They all looked really wacky. Fast and Furious 9, hype for it or not. I'm both am and aren't, just because as a writer, the story angers me. Motive Auto TV made a 2JZ Mustang. That's pretty cool. What year Mustang? What game? And Nintendo ES games. Or you mean NES? I don't know if I've played many, if any at all. I remember there was a Nemesis Carbon arcade. Yeah, I remember playing an arcade version of Underground 2. That was unexpected. I would take the F1 LM over the F1 Longtail, even though the F1 Longtail is historical. The F1 LM is basically a GTR for the road. There's an F1 LM not too far from here, in relative to every other car in the world. I think it's at McLaren Chicago, along with a P1 LM, one of the orange ones, which is nuts. I love the 2JZ, but turbo makes more sense in torque. Agree? Yeah. I think, well, if you're going to put force induction on a 2JZ, if it didn't already come with it, I'd go with or stick with turbo. 2021 Ford Thunderbird. A 2015 EcoBoost is the 2JZ. Okay. You should see 2021 Ford Thunderbird. 2021 Ford. I can't spell Thunderbird. Okay, I didn't know what I was expecting. It looks like a weird blend of a Tesla and an Aston Martin. Is that the concept car I'm looking at? Or is that coming out this year or next year? You know what's cool? Porsche has developed a new direct printing method that will allow the automaker to print a customer's fingerprint onto the hood of the buyer's own Porsche 911. That's a level of detail that I don't think exists anywhere else, as far as I know. Doing that with 3D printing? That's fascinating. The Ford Bronco will be the big launch next year. BMW M3 GTR will stands for history for still 2055. What do you think about the GMC Hummer? About the GMC Hummer coming out with 1,000 horsepower? A Hummer? What, the Hummer's coming back? I think the Nissan R34 Skyline looks better in 4-door model. I think they look more JDM, the 4-door versions, in my opinion. The R34 GTR 2-door looks awesome, but for some reason, the 4-door looks more like a Japanese car to me, if that makes sense. Opinion on putting hybrid or any sort of cars onto LS engine, as if they're putting C8 Corvette onto LMP1 category of Le Mans. I personally think hybrid sports cars are cool. I think it's cool to use hybrid technology to increase the effectiveness of the internal combustion engine without taking away from it. Do I hate German cars with that fake pops and bangs? Define fake. Are we talking like DDE level of pops and bangs, or are we talking about something else? Because I like pops and bangs, but not where they're just... I like pops and bangs that are the result of performance and also slight tweaks in the tune, not necessarily so that they're like, so that your car sounds like it's making popcorn that you can hear from space. On the topic of Mustangs, I like the S550 chassis, and if I don't have the money to get GT350, I'd go for V6 Cyclone. Good sounding. Don't really like GT since it's just a step down now, just in my opinion. I like the GT and the GT350 as platforms. If I got a GT, I'd probably do some kind of engine swap or just completely overhaul the stock Coyote motor. The GT350, though, is where it's at, in my opinion. Unfortunately. Audi RS6 Avant or Nissan Stagea? I think I'd probably take Nissan. Probably with the R34's face, especially. Speaking of the Lambo, the hybrid system they will use is like the F1 Cursor MUGK, like the LaFerrari. Yeah, I saw your comment, and I think that's very fascinating. Because I always thought the Torquevilling method of the McLaren P1 was fascinating. There's also the Mercedes Project AMG 1. That's all out. That's also very interesting. Yeah, popcorn tunes, I don't necessarily see the point. I can see why people enjoy them. I enjoy my car being loud and my car pops and bangs, but it doesn't do it quite that much. It does it pretty subtly. I do like cars that shoot flames. That I cannot deny. I would get a 2008 Mustang body and put a Terminator engine in it. A friend of mine has a Terminator, and it's got like 800 wheel horsepower. I've been trying to get him to let me film it, but it's been broken most of the time. Car that is the best rival to the M3 GTR? Man, if Need for Speed had made the Porsche 911 the main rival of the M3 GTR and Need for Speed, that would have made so much more sense. 36, I don't understand. Fun fact, rotaries can backfire from factory. It's not a bar thing either. Really? Doesn't surprise me. And I don't understand people who like S197 chassis because it just shouldn't exist in 21st century with us. Sorry. There is no IRS conversions for it. It's not not a bad thing. Red Sports and Games. Did you watch the Fast 9 trailer? I actually uploaded a video where I reacted to the trailer. What color you want on your M-Spec R34? Well, I'd probably repaint it. Either to midnight purple or to a Lamborghini Viola Parsife purple color. I'd want the M-Spec to be white, just so I wouldn't feel guilty about painting over the factory color, because it's a lot less special than Silica Breath or Millennium Jade. However, Silica Breath, only 6 M-Spec NERs were even made with Silica Breath. So definitely, if I got a Silica Breath R34 GTR, I would not mess with that at all. Is better than the LaFerrari. When will you beat the man with a horrible choice of clothing and an early R8? Friday, most likely this Friday. I've already beaten him. Spoiler. But the video has to get uploaded. What game was best? Most Wanted, Underground, Carbon, Payback, or Heat? Most Wanted will always be the one I'll go back to. And Underground 2 is the one I have the most nostalgia with. It's the one I always get the most excited about playing because of the way it looks, the sounds, the music. That's the one I have the most attachment to, even though Most Wanted is the most legendary, in my opinion. Any non-car hobbies? I'm a nerd, so I collect stuff. Oh, fun fact, actually, because I got this a long time ago before the channel actually blew up. You guys recognize this type of packaging? Can you guess what is in here? For those of you that don't know, don't say. Guess what is in here? It's basically an IOU to myself to get an R34 so that I can put this on it. Guess what's in here? Everybody guess. Any ideas? Do you all pass? You're close. Aki Kimura, you're close. The fucks to give. It's this. It is. Oh, that's backwards. That's. How do I fix that? M-Spec NER. See? It's a good thing that's kind of see-through. This is basically an IOU to myself to aim to get a car that is worthy of that badge. The goal is to get a car that deserves this badge. You can see it not backwards. Oh, well, on my screen, it's backwards, dude. So this isn't backwards. It's an M-Spec NER badge for a rare version of the R34 GTR. I wouldn't put it on a non-M-Spec car, but I would put it on an M-Spec. And the reason why I have this is because the body kit, the COS body kit, replaces the whole rear bumper, and the badge on the factory car is on the rear bumper, and so the badge disappears if you replace the bumper. So this would go onto the COS bumper. But to answer your question, I also do other nerdy things that have to do with like Star Wars and TV shows and stuff. I have a sword back there. I have a lightsaber somewhere. All kinds of stuff. In terms of hobbies, you guys are aware of most of them. I like everything mines. R30 Inferno Bunny. R32 Skyline. I'd love to build an R32 someday. But if I was to do an R32 build anytime soon, it would require probably trading in the WRX, which would suck if I did that now, especially because the WRX isn't done. Favorite soundtrack from Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005? The soundtrack in Most Wanted 2005 is interesting. It's unique. Every old Need for Speed game has a very distinct style of music, which helps them with the nostalgia. Koenigsegg Agera RS or Bugatti Chiron. Koenigsegg hands down. It looks better, in my opinion, and it just feels more wild to me. You have to play Half-Life 1 or 2. I've never played them before. I've played Gary's mod, but I've never played Half-Life. For your M-Spec R34, color matching bumper lips or carbon fiber black ones? Ooh. If I was to put like lips and splitters on and stuff, I'd only be able to put one on the front bumper, most likely, because of the COS body kit. I'd probably leave it as exposed carbon fiber, just to kind of accent it a little bit. Greetings from Switzerland, Christian Eder. How are you doing? Just to make it clear, SRA, solid rear axle, IRS, independent rear axle. Yeah, I get what you were saying before. I don't think I actually responded to you, which is my bad. But I get what you're saying. I remember people talking about that being an issue. All right, I'm gonna check again downstairs to make sure that the video is. Oh, by the way, I got your email about the Viper video. I'll be right back. Enjoy the elephant again. Deep bright red with carbon hood, no spoiler. R34 perfect. That sounds like how you'd build like a half-mile car. I'd say work with just engine management to build that. They make some crazy stuff. I also got the email about the Autocross Club. Thank you for the emails, guys. I'll be right back. Right back. Oh my goodness. Success. I was in my dungeon. That's awesome. The video is now being uploaded. Hello? I never came back. What did I miss? No wing skyline is for GTS and GTT. R34 wingless looks weird. It kind of depends on what you're using it for. Anyone here want to be friends? We're all friends here. It does, but I can't change the image with that one. Already your friend. You got a friend in me. I never came back. I really want an R34, but they are now so expensive. Question for Joker when he gets back. Do you listen to music when you drive and race? I do. Quite often. On my way back from class today, I listened to music. I personally find Eurobeat and Need for Speed soundtrack, depending on what kind of racing. Yeah. You got a friend in me. Guess I don't have to make that joke. Oziri made it for me. My dream build will cost me $300K. That's, yeah. I'm not 1 year old, Miguel. How, Tom? 'Cause Tom. Where's Tom? My dream car is the S15. Timmy. Oh, guys, now go show the glass. Tom is checking on his dungeon. Are you or anyone in the chat concerned about car safety? It bothers me that mostly people don't care and that trucks and sports cars don't have mandatory crash tests. Over 1,000. Don't have crash tests. Where? The laws in the U.S., albeit are strange, are fairly strict. The only place I can think of that has stricter regulations and laws is Japan. Anyone here saw Uncut Gems on Netflix? Nope. I didn't. I don't even have Netflix. Creepy hell or just fun. He's in his dungeon. Trucks and sports cars need to be crash tested to be road legal. I never changed color BMW M3 GTR white. I just jump off bridge and shot myself. What? Nice elephant. What JDM car do you want to Need for Speed Heat? It would be cool if there were more like classically JDM cars. Stop whistling. Like the older Supras, the older RX-7s, older Hondas, coupes though. I'm not too sure. I'm a big hatchback guy. Like some of the classic cars you'd see that people would drift with. Older Silvias, older SX cars. Well, Ziri, geez. A girl ran a red light a few months ago, whiplashing me at 50 miles an hour in my 2000 Subaru Legacy. Well, I hope there aren't any long-term consequences to that. Neck injury and back injuries are horrible. What wheels you want on an R34? TE37s are cool, but they seem like a really obvious choice. I'd go with the SSR Professor TF1s, most likely. Those look really cool. Multi-spoke wheels. They're not the Veilside Andrew Fs, but those are so rare that they're like $10,000 in each or something. Totaling your first car. Man, that's heartbreaking. I feel for you. She didn't like the fact that love is what makes a Subaru. Well, she was probably someone's mistress and thought she was going to be something more than a side hoe, most likely. And she was mad she wasn't getting any love that she thought she deserved. I want to see an Eagle Talon in a newer video game. That'd be neat. Isn't the old Eclipse isn't even in Heat, is it? We need the Eclipse. Hey, Tom, have you heard of Holden as a manufacturer? Absolutely. Is closing down for good. That's horrible. Why are they closing down? Are they not making money? Holden is pretty iconic. Yeah, she definitely didn't like your Subaru. Anyways, you need to look up Clubman Race Spec GTRs. They look sick. Clubman Race Spec GTR. I'll just take a quick look and I can check later. Race Spec GTR. It's just showing me Nismos. Oh. Oh. What is that exhaust? This one I'm looking at is a V-Spec tuner, which is already. It's got an R2 engine in it. I'll definitely look into that. It looks really nice. Have you played the Pimp My Ride game? No, I have not. Thanks, GM. That sucks with the whole Holden thing. The only long-term thing about that crash is my broken heart about the car. I worked at Domino's for the car, $1,000 US. Now I'm in the IEF Army using public transport. Oof. Well, I feel for you. But I guess all you can do now, I suppose, is just work at it and get something new and be like, this can't stop me from enjoying myself. This is a bucket. Dear God. There's more. No. What? What? Redo25, what are we talking about here? Before I say that next message. Actually, I appreciate your car choice since modern WRX is the first one to have new engine WRX or STR range since ever. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Several factors played into that. I got the WRX because it fit budget, because of insurance. It had less than 300 horsepower. And also because the car I originally was looking at the dealer I went to had gotten sold the previous day. And the car I originally wanted was a 2011 Mitsubishi Evo 10 MR. And I was like, okay, well, this is a Subaru dealer, so I want to look at some WRXs. And then we got the car the same day we went there. We spent less than 5 hours car shopping and got a car. It didn't take long. I figured it would take longer. What I say when I see the size of the Porsche GT2 RS exhaust. What does their exhaust look like? 11 GT2 exhaust. I won't say I love the Porsche 911 GT2, but it's the one version I actually like. Oh wow, that is kind of big. All right, Linchester, see you around. In a couple hours, the next episode of Carbon will be out. So keep an eye out for that. Just Joe from memes. Oh, that's what I think when I look at the exhaust on the Venom F5. What even is that? Wonderful stream. Thank you, Peter. Have I heard about the coronavirus? Yes. I don't know much about it. The story of my life at 19 years old. I mean, I'm 21. I got my WRX when I was 19. I got it back in 2017. So I've had it for a while. I got it not long after my 19th birthday. So it was basically a birthday present. Aki Kimura, I'd just say Chrysler vehicles are concerning in general. Yeah, Holden Rip. Now the prices are going to go up for the SS, SV8, HSV, GTR8. Yeah, that's true. You're right. They're going to suddenly become collectible and like hard to come by. But they are really iconic. That's a shame. That's true. It's probably... Well, poor man, you're right. They're probably doing something similar to what happened with Pontiac. At least Holden lasted longer for as long as they did. It's Corona time. Corona extra, coronavirus. Hi, my royal chums. I'm back. Aztec. Alberto Ocasio, how is it going? It's Modelo time. Man, you sound like one of my friends from Mexico. Literally Mexico, not street racing Mexico, like Mexico City. Modelo was one of the few words I learned from knowing him. By the way, question. How many of you guys have this book? Just out of curiosity. You're just playing Heat. How many of you guys have this book or have read parts of it? It's actually, if you're a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise and you want to know cool behind the scenes stuff or literally read one of my main sources for my Car Thomas Explained videos, you should read this. 80% of my information comes from here, and then 20% comes from phone calls with Craig. Oziri Umir, okay, have a good night, guys. Expecting to see our resources. Well, hopefully it's soon. Probably next Friday. How about that? Because this Friday is another episode of Carbon. But see you around. Sleep well, or whatever you're going to do. You might just be saying goodnight so that you can go and play video games, which is fine. That's usually what I tell people when I don't want to talk to them and want to play video games. Good night. I'll see you, Ned. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, let's lock into the MMO. Let's do this. Funny how GM used a base model Holden Commodore as the first prototype mule to test the C8 that mid-engine format, made it with a C7 cabin. The impact Holden had on GM cars is crazy. Holden, yeah, that's just sad. They're a historic company. Well, it'll make them collectible. At the very least. Okay. It's been nearly 2 hours. Do you guys want to start talking about exclusive things right now? There's 22 of you. When you feel itchy. You hungover? Because then I could give you some theories. I play Star Wars: The Old Republic, typically when I'm talking about MMOs. Star Destroyers, Jedi, Sith Lords, all that good stuff. Yeah. Like plans for the channel, car builds kind of more in detail in how I plan to execute them, content ideas, and other things like that. And a business idea that I'm going to just let you guys know I'm working on. But I don't want to release too much information because it's actually something I'm going to try and do, and it will require a lot of capital and financial everything to get anything to work. There's about 20 of you, so I'm sure I'd be able to find whoever leaked something because there's only a list of 20 people here. Not that I'm going to give you much to leak. Congress doesn't set the bar very high, though, but I see what you mean. Well, I'm going to end the stream briefly and then restart it. And it will not be super long. We'll talk about some exclusive things, and then that'll be it for today. And then you guys can keep an eye out for the latest Needs to Be Carbon episode, which will be coming out in less than, hopefully, 2 hours. Your secrets are safe with us. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. All right. 1 minute long intermission at the most. See you in a couple seconds.